Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Positivity. I am your host, Zykia McCoy. Here at Cooking with Positivity, we like to focus on positivity leading to success, whether that be in your business, in your love life, in your everyday decision making. Happy Tuesday. It is Sip and Sound Tuesday. That means we are stepping into one of our favorite spaces here at Cooking with Positivity. This is where flavor meets feeling, where the drink sets the mood, where the music sets the tone, and where we unpack the emotions, memories, and lessons that live in both. Since we are still celebrating Mother's Month, this week's theme is love in action, not just love spoken, not just love assumed, but love shown, love demonstrated. Love poured out through devotion, sacrifice, protection, and presence. And tonight, everything we're talking about centers around one word: nurture. Because nurture is love in motion. Now, our featured sip is the vanilla chamomile rose and cream, also known as my mother's oath cocktail. Now, this drink is soft, it's elegant, it's layered and comforting. Just like so many mothers, it carries warmth, calm, complexity, and every ingredient tells part of the story. The chamomile represents peace, rose, tenderness. The vanilla brings warmth and familiarity. The cream reminds us of softness. And the rum, that's the strength underneath it all. Because motherhood often looks gentle on the surface while carrying remarkable resilience beneath. Now, I'm going to give you guys the basic recipe. You guys know if you want the full recipe and instructions, head on over to our Food Lovers blog, ZRZ Catering, Food Lovers blog. If you type it in Google, it'll pop right up. Now, what you'll need is light rum, chamomile tea, heavy cream, rose honey syrup, pure vanilla extract, and chamomile flowers. And what you want to do is steep your tea bags with the rum for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how deep and how rich you want your tea. Okay? And our sound is Monica, for you I will. Now, this song is one of the purest expressions of devotion. And I played this song while I was pregnant with my oldest. Now, if you guys are reading along with our book club, you are taking part in the journey that not only I took with my oldest, but my mother took with me, my best friend took with her son, my best friends and godmothers took with their oldest children. And you know, when I found out I was pregnant, I was not so receptive, right? It took me a moment to come around to being ready to become a mother. That was not my plan in that moment in my life. And when I got pregnant with my oldest, she was, needless to say, very rambunctious inside. And there was very little that I could do to calm her down. When she was up, she was up. Or should I say, when her father was up, she was up. And I often looked for ways and things to calm her. I found drinking tea calmed her. And I found certain songs calmed her. And if you listen to the words to the song, it speaks to what it means to fully show up for someone, to stand in commitment, to choose protection, presence, and sacrifice. The lyric speaks of unconditional love, support, and while many people hear it through the lens of romantic devotion, I never heard it that way. When I listened to the song while I was pregnant, I heard it through motherhood. Because if there's any love that consistently says, I will stand for you, I will fight for you, I will carry you, I will believe in you when you don't believe in yourself, it is often the love of a mother. And this gave me real solitude, real gumption, real courage, real connection with my then unborn child, that we were in this together. And I took a non-performative step forward in my journey. And I devoted myself not only to the journey, but to my child. And now that doesn't require applause or, you know, it isn't always visible because it was just myself in the room with my baby playing the song over and over on repeat. And initially it started off me being exhausted and me wanting to get a nap. And she was just moving so much. She was just so busy. And a lot of the times I felt like I was sacrificing myself for my baby, who I didn't even know, who I didn't even meet yet. But it was in that moment I realized I was on my journey to motherhood. And it's often devotion in ways the world never fully sees. It's the school forms, it's the check-ins, it's the meals, it's the reminders, it's the worry. My God, do I worry? Right? And it's the prayers that's whispered when no one is listening. That's the devotion that I have as a mother, that my mother has as a mother, that other mothers have, that I know. And one of the most powerful forms of nurture is presence, not perfection, but presence. Showing up fully means being there emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically whenever possible. Because with my limited mobility, I am not able to be at every event. I'm not able to be in rooms physically for everything. But for the big things, I try to make sure I will myself to be in the room. I try to make sure I curl myself out of bed and I mentally and emotionally prepare myself to be present because there are a lot of moments that you don't get back. There are a lot of times that you don't get to celebrate those people who made you a mother. And as a mother, we do it over and over and over again, even when we're tired, even when we're stretched, even when we're carrying our own burdens. That kind of showing up teaches us what love looks like in practice. This month, we've been unpacking what love in action really means. It means that love is a verb, right? It moves, it gives, it protects, it corrects, it teaches, and it covers. A mother's love often doesn't wait for ideal conditions, okay? There have been plenty of times where I felt inconvenienced, but I had to act, especially when I'm uncertain or especially when it's difficult, right? Even in sacrifice, you have to make love the verb. There's something powerful about maternal protection. Is it instinctive or is it intentional and deeply rooted? Protection is not always softness. Sometimes protection is discipline. Sometimes it is boundaries. And I don't know how to express that to my kids because sometimes hearing no when you wanted a yes is often not understood that it's protection until later on, until we grow up, until we, you know, realize my mother was not being a hard ass. My mother was looking out for me. My mother wasn't, trying to steal my joy and fun. She was just trying to protect me from the perils that she went down. And you don't realize this sometimes until years later, like I said, until you're an adult, until you're raising your own kids. That's the thing about nurture. Its wisdom often reveals itself with time. It doesn't give you all the answers to your whys in the moment. Sometimes because I said so has to be good enough. Now, our word of the month is nurture. Let's sit with that word for a moment. Nurture. Nurture means to care for, to protect, to develop, to encourage growth. Nurture is not passive. It is an active investment. It is choosing to pour into something consistently. And this month, I want us all to think about how we nurture ourselves, how we nurture others, how we nurture purpose, how we nurture legacy. Now, I asked this question yesterday. I'm going to ask it again today, and maybe slightly different. Okay? What is one way your mother or a mother figure nurtured you that you didn't fully appreciate until later? Maybe it was discipline, structure, sacrifice. Maybe it was simply consistency. Make sure you hit us up with your answers, your responses. We want to hear from you because understanding nurture often requires hindsight. They say it's 2020. So, you know, it takes us time to understand all the factors and really see where your mother was coming from in that moment. This question will be posted on social media, of course. Make sure you guys respond. We love to hear from you. Send us voice messages. My DMs are open for voice messages at all times. As long as they're CWP related, okay? Because I be getting some crazy messages from some people. And I just be sitting there like, what is this even for? Okay? Now, as you sip tonight's Mother's Oath cocktail and sit with Monica's words, I want you to think about the people who loved you through action, the ones who showed up, the ones who sacrificed, the ones who nurtured growth in you before you even knew what you were becoming. That kind of love changes you. It changes your generations. It changes and creates and nurtures legacy. And I want to thank you guys for tapping in. I want to thank you guys for voting for me in the Super Mom competition. Tomorrow there will be a vote-a-thon. I will be going live on TikTok and Facebook. So make sure you guys show up and tune in because you're going to get some very fun perks. Okay? And please share, share, share. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. Help us spread this positive movement and keep pouring into purpose and keep nurturing growth and keep cooking with positivity. And until tomorrow, I hope everybody has a great and positive rest of their day and a great and positive rest of your week.